be like, is this really happening? Yes, 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 it is really happening. Look, what's happening? What's going on, guys? Big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta, and today we're here with D-Boy. So, as I've told you in our last video, that I will be doing a combo video on the Seifried deck. So, this is old school Vanguard, and I'm very happy that you guys are enjoying these videos because this is something that Blazing Paladin started and I got the virus of it and I picked up my old decks and I rebuilt them and the right sleeves with the right cards, and this is one of the decks that I've had so much fun with, and it's really amazing to get the chance to play it again, have fun with it. And in my opinion, this is I don't know if this is the best era of Vanguard. Like there are eras that I enjoyed more, but this is one of the eras that's like started with so much passion. I was like way younger, of course, because we're talking about like 12 years ago. So yeah, it was just amazing. It was the time that I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it was getting way too competitive for me, and although I did very good, it still didn't like it that much because people were just getting very strange. So for me to hop into a game like Vanguard that was way less competitive and way more fun to play was really refreshing. And Spike Brothers as a clan just was like made for people like me that love sports but also love card games and love anime, so that was just perfect. Alright, if you're new to our channel, we are Team Crushing the Meta. My name is D-Boy and I specialize in Spike Brothers and Bruce if we talk about the overdress era of Vanguard. And in these videos we wanted to go back and go old school, and we will make a deck of every timeline of Vanguard. I will show you a deck profile of it, and I will also show you a combo video, and hopefully we will also be able to do some games, but for now this is what we can do. So shuffling the deck, so we have a fair starting hand, and I will show you how the deck operates and what it is capable of. We will do the damage on how much damage I got from the opponent, so with like a dice or like whatever we think that is right. Alright, so we are ready. We have the starting Vanguard right here, and we can roll a dice to see who goes first. I will be the first one to throw, so that's a 1, that's 12, so they go first. You will have your starting hand, so this is our starting hand, and we have a grade 1, but it's a PG. We'd rather not write the PG, so of course we put the draw trigger back, we put the Juggernaut back, we have the Seifried, that's very good, and we have a grade 2 to write, so that's pretty okay. So we put these two back. We draw 2 new cards, another draw, and a Deadly Mason, that's a good write. And then we shuffle. Now the only thing that we want is a grade 1 that we could write that is not a PG, because it's really sad to lose your PG on the right. But it could happen, it's okay. Alright, we shuffle. We give it to the opponent to do a cut. The opponent does a triple cut because they're just too good. and then we start. So this is our hands. Alright, stand the Vanguard. It's up to them. So they stand, they draw, they ride, and mostly they have a forerunner, so it moves out, and it's our turn. So we draw for turn. We draw a crit, so we have to ride into the Merlin, and we need the this one behind the Vanguard because the Merlin is only 6k and the opponent Vanguard will be mostly E7k or E8k. So we attack, and then mostly they will not guard because they need like at least a 10k to the attack to not hit. Now we drive check, heal trigger, just give us power. In the early game, also lots of people did a want to pass, so you could see a want to pass here if they have like a draw trigger or whatever in their hand that they could just discard. The heal trigger will just give us the extra 5k that you could give to one of your units. It doesn't matter if you give it to this one, the attack will go through. I normally just give it to this just to mess with the opponent a little bit. Alright, then it's their turn, they attack into us. We need 1 damage for the Deadly Mason to be fully active, so we let at least 1 go. And then the second one, depending on how strong the attack is, we could guard it or not. We lost 1 Gloria, that is sad. And let's say they attack us 1 more time, and we need a 10k, so we guard with the heal because they know that we have it. And then it's our turn again. We stand and we draw. We drew into a schemer. Dang, we are just drawing the wrong cards, but that's okay. We ride into the Deadly Mason right here. We have only 1 counterblast, so we will leave him. We will call the Bracky to have a little bit of pressure, and that's it. Like, we leave the other cards. We will attack with the Deadly Mason. This is the attack we want to hit. And then mostly they will be on a 9k. So they could do a 1 to pass here, or they will let it pass. In both ways, if they let it pass, then we could counterblast 1. We could put a card from our hand to the soul, and we could call something from the deck that we could attack with. He could call anything from the deck. So you could call something like Juggernaut Maximum, because it's an 11k, it's very hard for your opponent to get rid of. And you could also call something like a Skydiver. You could also call something like a Machine Gun Gloria, especially if they got a trigger, because if they got a trigger, then this will not hit and the Juggernaut will not hit. They will hit if, for an example, you want them to go out of the field. Like the Bracky could still Soul Blast 1 to hit, but you don't want to do that. So most cases you get a Gloria because you could use it multiple times, or you will get something like a Juggernaut, so like something like that. So let's say we got a Gloria and then we attack with it. We do not use the skill because we don't have any CBs, and that would be the end of our turn. So we put them at like 3 damage, 2 or 3 damage, and that's fine because why not? Alright, we shuffle, they do a cut. Again, let's say they do a triple cut. There we go. And it's their turn again. So they ride to grade 3, right? And that's when they have a stronger turn. So they attack your Vanguard. We lost another Gloria. Dang, we're losing all of our Glorias. No! Let's say that they get rid of our Brackies if they attack it for a high power. If not, we could still guard it like 10k or 5k. I would give up for Bracky. But let's say they did our Vanguard 1 more damage. So we left like that, and then we had to guard our Bracky with a 10k. Good, fine, no bad. Now we stand and we draw. We drew into a Skydiver, that is nice. We ride, of course, into the General Seifried. And right here, most of the time, your opponent, Vanguard, will be E10k. So you counterblast 1 to use the skill of your Forerunner, which is Mega Trainer, and then you search something like a PG, or you search something like a Gloria, or you search something like a Wonder Boy. You search a Wonder Boy in case they are in 11k, like Kaigero for an example, but most decks were not 11k. You search something like Gloria if you want to put it right here and you want to use it multiple times, but we already have one and it's not necessary. I would search a PG for the assault that they do on us next turn. So I think that would be the best thing. So you shuffle and we do a cut. Alright, leave this in your hand, you call this right here and you call this right here. You activate the skill of the Medical Manager to soul charge 1. That is actually sad because this would have been our drive check, and that you could call it then because of his skill. Now you attack with this first. This is your stronger attack. Or you choose to still attack with this first because you still could call the grade 3 back here for next turn. And because we already lost 1, 2, 3, we already lost 3 grade 3s. There is not that big of a chance for us to get a grade 3. But you could also attack with this first, use its skill, draw, and then call the grade 3. But I would rather do it like this because you still have a next turn. So you drive check, a grade 3, General Seifried, interesting. You could call it right here. And you drive check one more, it's another PG. Now we have 2 PGs and 1 drop. No! We don't really have that much shield on hand, but we will get more cards. So this attack was 20, right? And that's very important because it's all about numbers when it was in the early game. So the 3k makes a big difference. This doesn't have 3k. But the 3k made a big difference because of the fact that it will become a 20k, right? So now you attack with a Skydiver. If the Skydiver attack hits, you could call something from your hand. Your opponent does not know what you have in your hand because they do not know what the schemer is, the deadly schemer. So you could also choose to leave this in your hand because you may call it to an open Vanguard circle, right? So you could also say like, yo, I will keep this in my hand because I could discard it with a PG. Or I could call it with a Skydiver if the Skydiver attack goes through. So let's say that you attack into a Vanguard and they let it go through. You could put this into your soul and you could call the General Seifried out of your hand and you could attack into another Vanguard or the Vanguard. You could do that. And then you attack with your Brachy, you activate the skill of Gloria, and you activate the skill of Brachy to Soul Blast 1. Let's say the draw trigger. And then you give it an extra 5k. And then it goes to the bottom of your deck, or it goes and shuffle your deck, pretty much up to which skill you use. So I will use her skill, put it in the bottom, and then I draw 1. Draw a heal trigger. Alright, interesting. And then it's your opponent's turn again. So let's say they attack into you, and then you get 1, 2 damage, heal trigger. That is nice. Give the power to the Vanguard, of course. So let's say that they get rid of this, and they attack you one more time and you want to guard. So if you guard, that's good. If you don't, you want to have 1 more damage, it's pretty much up to you. So let's say you guard. So it's your turn again. You stand, you draw. You drew into another Seifried. It's fine. So you call the Seifried right here. And you will attack because you want to keep those in the hand. You will attack with this. It gets then another 3k. And you do your drive checks. We want a Juggernaut right here. That would be amazing. First, it's Juggernaut. That's pretty cool. We call it right here. And the second drive check is High Speed Bragging. Goes to the hand. So remember, this is eating a lot from your opponent's hand because the 20, 21, 20, 21 is just very, very, very hard for your opponent to keep up with. Now you attack with this. You could use Gloria's skill to put this to your deck. And then you could choose to shuffle it. How do you shuffle it? You shuffle it with his skill, which I will explain. So you have your grade 3s shuffled. So you use the skill of Gloria to count +1. This will be 17, so it's still a 10k from your opponent's hand. This goes to the bottom and you draw a card. Then you attack with this, you soul blast something, give it an extra 5k, and then use this skill to go back to the deck and you shuffle. And with that, you shuffled your grade 3s into your deck, and doing so, you will have a better chance to drive check the grade 3s than leaving it in the bottom, of course. So yeah, that's pretty good. Alright, we do a little bit more shuffling. There we go. And then it's their turn again. So they attack into you. Hey, that's pretty cool. Good defensive. And then you could guard. Let's say that you use this to guard. Let's say that they have 3 attacks and this is enough for one of the attacks. And then a UPG, the another one. right? And you took one, of course. So you're left with these two. But if they could make more attacks or stronger attacks, you could PG the second one and lose one of these two. That's also fine. Then it's your turn. You basically call final turn right here. You draw into the Silent Joker. It's fine. Now you have to think about numbers. So we already said that they are they have a Vanguard that is a 10k, so this is a good column. You call these right here, you call this right here. This will make 16 with its skill 21, and this will make 15 with his skill, you make 20. And then you have 3 soul, so you have enough soul to use both of their abilities. Now you have to give up one first, because if you drive check a grade 3, then you could call it with his skill. So you could do this one first or this one. I would rather do this one first because he shuffles himself into the deck, which means, again, a bigger chance for you to drive check a grade 3. So you could attack with this. I would boost it because even if your opponent is on 4 damage, because you don't know if you will call a grade 3 yes or no. So I'll boost it and I will use the skill of the Juggernaut Maximum to give him a 5k. 20k column. Insane, right? It will go back to the deck. You will do a shuffle. And then the General Seifried will attacks. And then you will give him the extra 3k. So this is another 20. So 20, 20, 21, right? That's insane. Like, there were not many clans that could do this much power. But remember that we got most of the cards back because of Gloria. So back in the days, we did not have Gloria. So you do minus your hand a lot. But now in this formation, it's different. So you shuffle, you do the cut. Here we go. And then you do your draft checks. 20 again. They need a PG. First one is a Wonder Boy. And the second one is a crit. So we do not get any of the grade 3s to call. But then again, it's good enough, right? The 5k and a crit, these goes to your hand. You attack. Use his skill, her skill and his skill, Soul Blast 1, and then Counter Blast 1 later. Because her skill activate at the end of the battle, but I always do it. So this is 16, this is 21, and then the 5k from Braki becomes a 26 column with a crit, and that would kill the opponents. And if it does not, then you still have a decent defensive hand, I would say, but again, you will lose if you don't get a heal. Because you have just 2 5ks and 1 10k. So yeah, that's basically how the deck works, operates, and it basically you will get this combo like mostly all of the time. It depends on what your drive checks are, but as you saw, like, you could have a better way to drive check if you return the right cards. Like, if I return the Braki first, I will return to the bottom of the deck because I leave it there, because then you have a bigger chance of having the grade 3s on the top of your deck, because now your grade 2 is on the bottom of your deck. But for an example, if I already know that I have 1 or 2 grade 3s on the bottom of the deck, then I would rather shuffle the deck and use Gloria skill. So yeah, it pretty much depends on how you want to use the skills and which one goes first, but pretty much most of the time you want to shuffle your deck if you return a grade 3, and you want to leave it to the bottom if it's a grade 2. And Gloria will mostly boost a grade 2, so that one will mostly be in the bottom of your deck, while the grade 3s, like Juggernaut for an example, will be attacking by himself, and for that reason he will shuffle the deck, because he will shuffle it anyway if you want or you don't. I could do another game for you guys just to show you maybe a different scenario, but the deck basically does the same thing depending on what you have and what you get. The most important thing is you get the General Seifried, because if you do not get the General Seifried, then you have to ride into one of your grade 3s, and with that the Deadly Dan would be nice. So you could always add just 1 copy of Deadly Dan in the deck, but it's fine because those grade 3s are also in 11k, so that's good. Alright, let's see if we get a better hand. Let's say that the opponent does one more cut, two more cuts, whatever. And then we see. The first card we drew a Juggernaut, PG, Gloria, it's good, a Silent Joker, and a Bracky. So right here you could choose to return the Juggernaut, but then you gamble on getting a grade 3 or not. Of course you return the Silent Joker, I don't see a reason to keep it. You want to keep these 3 because they are your rights and this is a PG. So I will return the Juggernaut and gamble on getting another grade 3, another PG, and a General Seifried. It was a good gamble, it paid off. So yeah, sometimes you just have to listen to your guts. Right here, we already have 2 PGs, so most of the time your Mega Trainer will get you a booster like the Wonder Boy to hit the 21k column, or a Gloria for your Vanguard, because we will be riding this one. Or maybe we draw yet another grade 1, then we don't have to. They do cuts and yet another cut because they are good. We talked about it. So let's say for an example we go first, right? It's fine as well. So we draw for turn, draw a Bracky, again we ride into Gloria. We don't have Dudley Mason, so we don't have to call this behind the Vanguard, but I would still do, because looking at my hand, I don't know if I want to rush with both Brackies, because it's also good for later. And that's it. Then they attack into us. We lost the Mason, that is very, very, very sad. Then it's our turn again. We got a Medical Manager, that is good. We ride into the Bracky, because we don't have a better choice. We use the skill of Mega Trainer because less triggers in the deck means that you will have better drive checks. And right here, I would rather get Gloria. Again, if we're talking about opponent's Vanguard being a 10k. If the opponent's Vanguard is an 11k, then I get a Wonder Boy. So Gloria, we could call her or keep her in the hand depending on if we want to call the Bracky, yes or no. We call the Medical Manager because there is no reason not to. And we do the shuffly. And we let the opponents do a cut. They will do just a single cut this time. And then this Medical Manager was soul charts, Zacharias, that's fine. Call the Gloria, call the Bracky to just put a little bit of pressure, because why not? This will be the first attack because we don't play stun triggers. The drive check is another Bracky, and then the Bracky will attack, so there's no skill of Bracky, no skill of Gloria. Why do we minus ourselves? There's no reason. 16 will hit whatever. Even if they have something that's 11k as a grade 2, or even a grade 1, still hit. Their turn, they go to grade 2. They attack into us, does us 1 damage, sad, and they could attack into the high speed Bracky, or maybe that's the only attack that they could make. I don't know. Let's do a dice roll on if the Bracky dies or not. If it's more than 10, then the Bracky dies. If less, then he stays. It's a 7, he stays. Stand and we draw. We drew yet another PG. Dang. We ride into the General Seifried. Then we call yet another Bracky. With this, we don't have much shield on hand, but I would still call it. And I will maybe not use Gloria yet. I will attack with him first. Now that's strange, because most people will be like, why not attack with him and lose him? I want to keep him because we are attacking into grade 2. So the first drive check is a Gloria, good, for next turn. The second drive check is a Wonder Boy. Okay. We'll keep those on hand for now. And then you will attack with this into the Vanguard or the Vanguard. I will not use the skill yet. And you will attack with this. If you really want to do them damage, you could choose to use his skill with Gloria. And then you will draw also a card. But you could also choose to leave it on the field. It's up to you. I think we do want to do them a little bit more damage. So it gets plus 5k, and then from Gloria skill goes to the bottom of the deck, and then we draw a card. Okay, that's fine. We get a little bit more shield. Then it's third turn, they attack into us, something that cost a 5k, something that cost a 10k. We'll discard those, we will keep our PGs for now, and they will do us at least 1 damage. So we stand, and we draw, a medical manager. That is fine. We'll call the medical manager right here. Activate the skill with soul charge. Jiggy. That is sad because it would have been a nice call. And then we call the machine gun Gloria right here. And then we enter the battle phase. So this is a 14k column, which is a strange column. And this is a beautiful 21k column. This is a 20k column. What do you want to do first? You want to use her right away to put the Brachy back because we are losing the Brachy anyway, or you want to put this back? I would lose the Brachy because we're losing it anyway. This will be the first attack. We count +1 for later, we sold +1 for his skill. And then he gains the 5k. 21 column will hit, this will go to the bottom, and we draw. Then this will attack, again the 3k, so this is the 20k column. Drive check, no grade 3. We do get a heal. I don't know how much damage your opponent have, but it could be similar to 3 if before this attack. So let's say that we heal 1 as well, and we get 5k. Goes to the hand. This attacks, you could not use this skill, but still a 19k column. Could hit our good rear guard or could hit the Vanguard. Then it's third turn again, and right here we have good shield, good hand, the attack. Regard the first attack of the rear guard. Let's say for an example, they attack with a Vanguard, we get PG or let at least 1 go through. So draw trigger, that's nice, we draw. Let's say they got a critical trigger, second, it's nothing. And the last attack we could guard with a 10k. If it's more, we could also use a 15. If it's a 20, then we have to PG. So let's say it's a 20. So that's what we do. Or, 15. Or we do it like this and keep them on the point. It does make a little bit of a difference. Right? We stand. And we draw. A draw. We call this right here. This makes 15, so that's good. Then we attack with this. We'll activate the skill of Gloria because there is no reason not to. And then at the end of the battle, this goes to the bottom. And we draw. And then we attack with this, 20. Again, we are wearing the opponent off with these beautiful strong numbers. I mean, even this one was a 14. Like, it still needs a 5k or hit a rear guard for a 10k. Drive check. First is nothing. Second is no grade 3. And then this will be the last attack. You could use this skill again. This is 15. Beautiful. Put it to the bottom. And we draw. We draw a grade 3. It's okay. Then it's the opponent's turn. They attack into you. If it's a 5k, you could guard. Let's say that you let it through. It's another draw trigger. You draw 1. Another Seifried. And then let's say they have a strong Vanguard attack or whatever. You could guard using the schemer. And then the last attack, let's say if you want to PG 1 more time, you could PG. Alright, you could also lose the Deadly Mason, or you could lose the grade 3. It's pretty much up to you, because the grade 3 does not have any shield, but it could be a good attacker, but then the Brachy is a better attacker. So we stand, and we draw. We are drawing all of our grade 3s. It's fine. We could return the Juggernaut to the deck. You could write to make a, if you want, you could write to make more soul. You could call this, or you could call the Brachy. Two differences. If you call this, then you could choose to shuffle him into your deck, which you will have a bigger chance of drive checking grade 3. Because you could attack with this first, lose him with the skill of Gloria, then you attack with your Juggernaut, and the Juggernaut will shuffle the deck. That is possible. Or you could just go simply for strong attacks and try to kill your opponent off right here. If they are on 5 damage, then you attack with this first. If they are, or this one. If they are on 4 damage, then you could choose to attack with the Vanguard. But let's say you attack with this first. You activate this skill first, you activate his skill, you solve last 1. And he gained an extra 5k, which becomes 18, 23. Big column, right? So then it goes to your deck. You don't use her, because you use her on this side. because you want to shuffle your deck. You really don't want to draw yet. There's no reason to. You could also have called the Mason and played a different game. I'll show you later how that would work, because that's a interesting game that you could play with your opponents as well. Then you attack with this, and then you do your drive checks. This is a 20k column yield trigger. That will always go off. The 5k will go right here, and the second. Damn, this game does not want to end. Yeah, let's say that you could not heal because they're on 5. Then you attack with this, activate his skill, you Soul Blast 1, and then you gain even more power, and then her skill later on to draw a card. See, we're always one step behind. Shuffle. Then it's their turn, they attack into you. You could most of the time survive the opponent's turn in this case, because look at your hands, right? So we lost a Jiggy, that is sad. And then you have these as shield, and you have this as shield. And that's more than enough. All right, we stand, and we draw into a draw. So the thing that I wanted to show you is the uses of Deadly Mason in case if you have a strong something right here as well that you could get rid of. So let's say for an example that this is a Braki or a Juggy. Just for argument's sake, right? You know how the game will end, like it's the same thing. You call this and that and you attack and you leave one column, or you have one column empty, and then the other column you could call a grade 3 if you have drive check a grade 3. You can make soul with him and whatever. Alright, so what you do right here is you write into the General Seifried that you have in your hand, or you put you get a soul charge out of him, or whatever trigger that you have that could make a soul charge. So you call this right here and you call this right there, or you call it behind, doesn't matter. You activate a skill to soul charge 1. We keep losing our grade. It's fine. We get rid of this to have this right here. That's an important play. Why? And we have one card on hand. Because now the Deadly Mason is very devastating for your opponent to deal with. You attack with this, boost it, and you activate the skill of Braki to gain extra 5k. If they're on 4 damage, this will be the one that they will let through. But you could also attack with this first, if you think you will not get a grade 3 anyway. The first drive check is nothing, and the second is nothing. Now, for an example, if we got a crit right here, then what you do is you give the power right here, but the crit right there. And what happens is this will attack Soul Blast 1 and give him the extra 5k. Remember that he has the crits, so they need to guard this. They also need to guard this because they think you maybe drive check a crit. They are on 4 damage. So they need to guard this. This goes to the bottom. You do not use your skill because you have 1 CB. And now you attack with this. This is still a 21 column. So it's very hard for your opponent to guard all of these. So they have to let this one hit. And if they do, you count +1. You put a card from your hand into the soul. And then you call something from your deck, which still be strong, like a Juggernaut or a Skydiver. The Skydiver could still attack into a Vanguard, and you could call something from your hand if you had something like a Juggernaut, but you could also call the Juggernaut, and then the Juggernaut will be, he will be like 16 by himself, still a 10k out of your opponent's hand, which they did not have, otherwise they would have guarded this one. You could also choose to call something like, for an example, if they got a trigger and you think they could guard, you could call something like a Braki or whatever grade 2, and you could still hit the Rare Guard, and it's still good interceptor as shield as you have from your hand that you lost, or maybe sometimes you lose a grade 3 from your hand. All in all, the deck is very flexible, and the additional Deadly Masons and Gloria, those are the only 2 cards that you added that were not from the era itself that does make a big, they do make a big difference, especially the Gloria. The Mason maybe less, but Gloria is amazing. But you could make like more attacks, right, with the deck, because you could also go from a Skydiver to a Juggernaut to drive checking another Juggernaut. Like there are lots of good plays that you could make. So let's say for an example that your field looks like this, and you have a Gloria right here and a Gloria right there, and it's looking like that. You have one of these chilling on hand. You could attack with this first. If it hits, you could put it into your soul to call this out of your hand. You could attack with it again. You soul blast this, it goes back to your deck. You shuffle, and then you attack with this, and you drive check, Juggy, call the Juggy, drive check Bracky, goes into your hand. The Juggy attacks, goes back to your deck. This attacks, activate the skill of Gloria, activate his skill, and then goes back to the deck, and then you shuffle the deck, or you shuffled with him first, and then he stayed at the bottom because of her skill, and then you draw a card. That could be whatever. So that would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attacks. You could make 5 attacks. It's pretty good, like from a deck this old, to make 4 or 5 or even 6 attacks, depending on if you want to use Mason or how many times you activate your Skydiver. If you know that your opponent does not have shield on hand, then you will be very, very... you will play differently with your Mason, especially your Mason. You will leave your counterblasters more for your Mason than for your Gloria. And yeah, that is just a way of playing this deck or this clan in general. You could be very, very, very smart about which attacks you make and which not. And that is pretty much it, guys. I would like to thank you all for all the love, the support you give to our channel. I am very happy that you guys are enjoying these videos, because I really, really enjoy making them. Especially like going into the old decks from the old days of Vanguard, and having fun with these decks. Like, it's just a blast to have the opportunity to show it to you guys as well. And I'm very happy that you are enjoying it as well. Alright, that was pretty much it. We're putting all of these away in these beautiful deck boxes that we got from the BSF, sorry. And yeah, there are more decks to come. We have the Legion deck, and of course we have the Nerve Break deck, and we have the Break Right deck that comes also in between, which plays the Limit Break or the Legion or whatever. Alright, thank you all for watching, and thank you for tuning in on our channel. We will see you in the next video. So till next time.